Journaling on an app is the single best thing you can start doing to cultivate self-awareness. But you know this already. Now the question is, which app should you use? Hi, my name is Ibrahim, and I've been journaling for a little more than a decade now. Over the years, I've used a whole bunch of different apps, but right now, my preferred app for journaling is Obsidian, which, strictly speaking, is not even really a journaling app. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 questions to consider when deciding on an app for journaling. And by the end of the video, I'll tell you why I chose Obsidian and why that might not be the right choice for you. I'm not just talking about Mac or Windows here, but also whether you'll be writing on a tablet or on your phone. Perhaps you need access to a web app when you don't have your devices on you. Or maybe you'll be writing cross-platform and want something that will provide you with a seamless experience. Day One, for example, doesn't run on Windows, but Obsidian does. It also runs on Mac and Linux, but at the time of this recording, it does not have a mobile app. 750 words is web only, and Journey runs on everything. On the surface, it may not seem like such a big deal, but if you consider that we are doing this journaling thing for the long haul, and that in the long haul, whatever app we are currently using might not be the app we'll be using 10 years down the line, then it starts to seem like kind of a big deal. What we want is interoperability. We want a file format that plays well with others. We want to be able to take whatever we wrote in this app and transfer it over to a different app with as little friction as possible. Journey, for example, lets me export my entries in docx and PDF, which quite frankly is not that great. Notion, on the other hand, lets me export in Markdown and CSV, which is fantastic, and all Obsidian files are plain text Markdown by default. Basically, how many clicks are required from when we open the app to when we are actually writing? This is important, especially in the beginning when we are just trying to develop the habit. The fewer the number of steps, the better. Both Journey and Day One are really smooth. It essentially just takes one click to start writing. Notion, and to some extent Obsidian as well, has a lot of friction right out of the box. As I mentioned in my previous video, most of the benefits of journaling come from revisiting past entries and finding patterns in our behavior. What we want is an app that makes it easier for us to do that. Both Journey and Day One allow tagging, which is good for certain related entries. But what's more useful is having bidirectional links and a graph view that shows exactly how those links are connected. This is something that Obsidian does really well. Lastly, how much control do you have over your data? I mean, even though you technically own all your data on whatever app's cloud storage you're using, if for whatever reason you are logged out of their servers, you lose access to all your data. All my Obsidian files are stored locally on my laptop. I also have simultaneous backups running to both Dropbox and iCloud using Hazel. And that's it. I hope these 5 questions gave you some sort of framework to help you decide which app to use for your journal. Personally, I chose Obsidian because of the plain text files, bidirectional linking, and control over my data. I also almost exclusively write on a laptop, so the lack of a mobile app isn't an issue for me right now. But if you still have trouble deciding and would prefer that I just recommend something to you that works well right out of the box, then I would suggest that you try out Journey. In my next video in the series, which won't be the next video in this channel because I think we all need a little break from all these journaling videos, I'll detail my actual writing process. I'll talk about how I set up my Obsidian to make journaling have less friction, and also share some journaling best practices that work for me. If you want to be notified when that video comes out, you know what to do. For now, I'll just say this. Once you've downloaded whatever app you end up choosing, set a timer for 15 minutes and go to town. Remember, what you're writing is for you and you alone. No one has to see it. And if 15 minutes is too long for you, set the timer for 5 minutes. In fact, set the timer for 2. What's important is that within that time frame you give yourself, you write without stopping. Even if the writing is bad, even if you run out of ideas, even if it stops making any sense. You can always edit after the timer runs out, but as long as that timer is running, you only have one job. Write.